oh wow, the struggle is real. You don't just get to the point just because you move to that place. There's still like a lot of work to be done. So Dancing with Depression is I would say is the one song, actually no, it was one of the two songs on there that I produced just completely different, had a completely different mindset of like when I like made the like instrumentation, like when I like composed like the whole thing. I'd been listening to a lot of Smino around the time and I was like, man, how does Monte Booker do that? Or Monty Booker do that? I always say Monte, I got cousins named Monte, mess that up all the time. But I was like, man, how does he make his like production sound the way it does? And a lot of it has to do with like this man uses Foley, like just random like pins dropping, closing, opening the door, turning knobs, like keys jingling. He uses a lot of Foley in his like production, which gives it like a more, I guess, sense of area. Like you feel like you're in a room,
right?
Next to like, you know, with all like the processing and stuff with like reverb and everything. And so I pretty much went back to Tyrell and Jamil and I asked them, but man, like, do y'all hear what I'm hearing, right? Like, what does he do? And Tyrell sent me some stuff back. I was like, yo, this is kind of like what Monte does. And like Jamil sent me like a couple of videos, like, hey, he does like some breakdowns here. And that was like, through that, I kind of like learned how to incorporate more acoustic sounds with the digital sounds. And I went to the homie Happy Tooth, whose name is also Colin.
Happy Tooth Colin, I like that already.
And I always wanted to collab with him. I had met him not that long after I originally moved to Columbus. He's actually the brother of someone I went to school with at Capitol as well. And through that, and like performing with him at the same like places a couple of times, seeing him like live, playing with like opening for his band, or I was getting ready to open for his band, but like we had like done like, you know, shows and stuff together, and I'd seen him at like around the place, and like I finally like asked him, hey man, you want to do this project? And he was like, I've been waiting for like this collab for like forever, because he apparently was also a fan of my music too, and we were just like awkward, we're waiting for each other. So that's a song that's relatively about the actual move, the whole pop the cork, now I'm the man. At 23, had my whole life planned. Tripped on now I no longer stand. That whole like concept of like, man, I think I'm making big moves. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And then when you're out there, you realize, oh wow, the struggle is real. You don't just get to the point just because you move to that place. There's still like a lot of work to be done. So even if that's, you know, like a physical plane of existence, you know, a mental like state of like progress in your like mental state, or like even like with relationships and there being like, you know, trials and tribulations with that, and you know, literally like living with another person, having to deal with how they live and them dealing with you and all that kind of stuff. Is like, just because you move that one place, all your problems aren't going to be solved. You know, just because you have a kid, all your problems aren't going to be solved.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people have that mindset of like, if I just do this one thing, I'll just be happy, and that's not how it works. And that's pretty much like me interluding into that to the rest of the project with that kind of like mindset of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna move, I'm gonna be the man, I'm gonna rule the world, and that might not, you know, be the case. Just because, you know, you move doesn't mean your problem's gonna be solved.
What made you pick Columbus? Was it just the Capitol University, or?
That was the main reason. Yeah. Also, doing music in the DMV area for like a solid year kind of made me realize that maybe my style of music lyrically was not the best for that area. Because what's weird about the DMV hip-hop scene, or in general the music scene versus the Columbus music scene, is in the DMV, genres are very strict. Mm-hmm. So if you make trap music, you're hanging out with the trap dudes, and like your lyrics are about banging, making money, all that kind of stuff. If you make like the stoner music, your stuff kind of sounds like Wiz Khalifa or Currency. You guys tend to stay in that lane. You do that kind of music, make those kind of beats. If you do stuff like more like out of the pocket, it's kind of harder to find your audience out there, because people are going to be probably looking at the one song that sounds like the song that they like, rather than over the whole project being like, man, the music overall is like insane, because of how strict the genres are. Because even like go-go is just go-go in the DMV. It's not like you're in a go-go rock fusion band, or like, you know, I'm playing in a reggae band that kind of plays like some, like they do some metal like drumming riffs on the side, or like some like crazy like breakdowns or something like that, or like I'm adding like, you know, electronic music to like R&B or something like that. It's like really strict on how you do stuff and how like people are like, you know, promoted. Because if you sound too much like too many different things, no one knows what to call you, or who knows who to book you with. And out here out in Columbus, there's more of a, I guess, encouragement on like breaking down like the whole like genre barriers and doing different stuff, and like having like a funk song right next to an R&B song, right next to a mainstream radio, a hip hop song, next to, you know, a spitterific, you know, kind of like lyrical miracle spiritual song.
For sure.
You know. And like Columbus has been pretty like open with like how open I am with genre, basically just through the people I've met. The fact that like as soon as I came out here, I was playing shows. I like played a festival my first summer like living out of here in Barbecue. So like that was kind of insane that like I even got booked for that last second. So like yeah, it just seems like the brand of music that I make in Columbus just tends to be more well received, and not just more like little cliques liking it. It seems like overall, once one person that likes a similar style likes this one, they'll tends to gravitate towards like a more larger group of people who are looking for that sound.
Right. That makes sense.